Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel from Two Brown Girls. For those of you that don't know, I'm Isolita.
I'm Brittany Doris.
And today we are actually reviewing the docu-series Rest in Power, I Am Trayvon Martin.
Yep.
So the series actually came on last night. We both actually watched it. And what were your initial thoughts?
I thought it was really good. I loved how it was portrayed, and it didn't to me seem like a low budget, disrespectful docu-series, which sometimes you get that vibe, especially from the BET to VH1. So I think the docu-series, at least the first episode, was well put together.
Yeah. I think it was a very powerful message, powerful how it was portrayed. I think that they did a very great job with the production. I think it felt authentic.
Yeah.
You felt obviously you can't really feel like you're in their shoes
No.
at all. But you felt the emotion behind the story that they were telling.
Yeah.
And you felt that moment that they were in. So
Yeah.
I think they captured that very well.
I would agree.
So what was something that you kind of surprised you, I guess, about the series or within the whole process?
It was a few things that surprised me. Although you and I lived through this experience, we were both adults when this happened. I felt before this docu-series that this was just going to reiterate what I already knew. But I do love how they did a great job of being honest. When they mentioned him being suspended for school for 2 weeks, and that's why he was in Sanford. Sanford?
Yeah.
Okay. That to me was good because one, I didn't know that. I just thought he was there visiting his dad, but they did give you insight into his actual life and what being a teenager is. So I love how they didn't try to filter his behavior or him.
Yeah, I think that was one thing that was important because even once the story broke and it was in the media, they started to show all of these pictures of him and him putting his middle fingers up.
Grills.
And his dad said something that was very true. And let's all be realistic with ourselves. We've all probably done a thing or two while we were teenagers that we didn't have any business doing.
Some as we're adults.
Yeah. So, I think that you also can't fault him either.
No.
Because unfortunately, it's part of growing pains and it's part of growing up as a young black male in society, and also the friends that you're around, the influences they have on you. But I really liked how they showed kind of the two, not necessarily lives that he lived, but how before when they tried to tell he was a really good kid and he did his homework, he was really, really passionate about aviation.
Yeah.
And then obviously sometimes, you stray off the path a little bit.
Yep.
But his dad was trying to bring him back on the right path.
Yeah.
So
it just sucks that before he could get himself back together, he had to, be killed over something really senseless. So to me, that's the part that, as I was watching it, I was cringing. One, I didn't realize it was a docu-series, so I thought we were gonna see the entire story within the hour or 2 hours is what I assumed it was last night. And I am not a suspense type of person. Yes, I lived it. Yes, I know the outcome of what's gonna happen or what happened in real life. But I was on edge. I was I can't watch the rest of this. It's something about it that still is just very unsettling for me.
Yep.
And so I have a hard time watching that. Even sometimes on Instagram when you're seeing police brutality videos or people the World Star fighting videos, I can't watch that. It makes me cringe.
Yeah.
So that was my reaction.
I think to your point, it was a very difficult thing to watch because we were almost reliving it again.
Yeah.
But
And seeing things that you didn't see.
right. So then that it kind of messes with your mind because it messes up your whole perception. It makes you angry again. It makes you sad again. It makes you ask multiple different questions of and I'm sure his parents well, what if he didn't go to Stanford? You know what I mean? There's all those what if questions.
Or the fiance.
Oh gosh, she broke my heart.
Yeah, she's I send my kids to someone and I expected them to protect them and to watch over them, and I didn't do that for him. Could you imagine the guilt? I didn't even know that he had a fiance. The fiance was that they were at her house.
Right, and then it was his son, her son, he asked like, hey, what do you want from the store? And the Skittles were for the son.
And it's just so heartbreaking.
I think that it was very noble and very well thought out of how the defense attorney decided we're going to get these tapes, we're going to share this with the media, like everyone is going to know and feel like they are Trayvon Martin.
That part I didn't realize the fight that had to happen for it to get to Charlotte.
And the magnitude
I had no idea.
Yeah.
In that moment, like I don't know this sense of like, I don't want to say black pride because that has a negative connotation, but that moment of feeling like our people are so magical when we want to be. Like when he was talking about, no, you're gonna feel like Trayvon was your son, your brother, whomever. Like to me, I got chills because I was like, I had no idea the amount of work that man put in for that to hit my TV.
Right.
No idea.
And even then, because this was back in like 2012, so think it's now 2018, and obviously the era of social media has, you know, grown and grown over the years, but realistically, social media was really kind of just picking up steam at that point.
Yeah, at least for like Instagram.
Yeah, at least for like Instagram.
Facebook
so like
was still,
Facebook was still relatively, you know, MySpace died, but but like it was still like kicking up steam.
Yeah.
So just to also see like not only black people but white people, Hispanic people, like to come together and to realize like that could have been your brother, your son, your cousin, whoever.
Yeah.
Like, and the power behind like, although it may be one voice, like we're obviously as a collective whole, it's going to be a lot more impactful.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just really just like was eye-opener for me, just to watch that and get a new perspective. One thing though, I'm not sure how many more episodes I can actually watch.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like I get very attached, like things linger in my mind. Even last night, it took me a really long time to fall asleep because I was replaying the scenario in my head. So I want to follow and I want to support the docu-series because so far it's amazing, but I don't know if I can handle it. My heart can't handle it.
I think that just kind of goes back to like, it is such a powerful like message, and even like the Khalif Browder story, like it's very, very hard for us to, I mean for me, like I have a younger brother and he's a good kid, you know, I mean he's like 26, he's my brother, but you know, so he's younger, so I feel like, you know, he's a good kid. He doesn't seem like he would be the type of guy to get in trouble, but perception of someone else
is everything.
Right. And like for me, it's like, oh, listening to like all of the tapes of him calling into the police station
was
like
crazy.
And then they did, I think it was a lie detector test, but they didn't really show, like you couldn't see on the like footage, but it looked like a lie detector.
But it wasn't a lie, it was a voice detection or
voice
something.
detection. Okay.
And did you see the caption was like, no questions were asked about race?
But you guys have on record that he's called the police station multiple times. He also had an assault charge on him against a police officer.
But they were like hugging him, dapping him up.
Right, no, you're good.
Hey George,
Go
have a good
home.
night.
It's okay.
You just killed someone, but get you some sleep.
Right.
Did you hear what he said? Oh, I have class tomorrow. I may not be able to do the walkthrough. And the police officer was like, well, you need to get a no.
Right.
But the fact that you even compare going through this investigation of somebody's life you just took away to your class, I was like,
I just feel like that shows like a heartless like type of person. And then the thing that kind of like baffled me, and this is kind of what you said, of like after the show I was like replaying things in my head of like playing the what if game would be realistic, but I was just like, yeah, the fact that he the fact that you could hear like Trayvon in the back and he was like held, like that almost made me think, okay, was there really a struggle? Like honestly, did you beat up yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like I just started thinking about stuff like that. And
or you approach this man, or Trayvon, this 17-year-old boy, you approached him when he was minding his business. You have a firearm, you are the aggressor. So even if he did attack you, it's because he's really like, I went to get Skittles. I don't know why this man is following me. So even if he did punch you. There was no reason for you to take his life, and I had no idea he shot him in the heart.
I didn't either.
Like,
Well,
no.
I saw the hoodie, but I guess like I don't know, like seeing it then and now, I was like, oh man, like I guess I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I just think obviously it's something that's like super unfortunate, and it's still going on in today.
Yeah,
I
which
mean,
is sad.
Very sad. Philonda Castile, Mike Brown, Sandra Bland. The list goes on and on.
The girl who just recently got stabbed on the subway, Mia. Like, it literally is a list that we can continue for all night, which is really sad.
And I think that the unfortunate part is kind of how we mentioned perception. Like, let's be real, we didn't ask to look this way. Like,
nope,
we didn't.
Now, would I change it? No.
Absolutely not.
But did I volunteer to be this brown skinned girl with this kinky curly hair?
No. But that was God's plan, and that's just what it was.
And that's just how it's gonna be.
Exactly. So I feel like you can't, like, one, you can't judge a book by its cover. Two, you can't like sit here and basically harass people for the way that they look.
And you can't play God. It is not your decision whether someone lives or dies. If your life is at risk, that may be a different conversation. But it is not your life, whether you have a stand your ground law or not, to be the deciding factor whether someone goes home or not.
Right.
So, will you tune in to next Monday's episode?
I will tune in.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted.
I may tune in if it's still just like the court case and all that.
Yeah.
But if it gets to the point where it's too heavy,
Yeah.
I'll have to turn the TV off.
Yeah. But definitely support for sure. This is a great docu-series, like we said. It's very cringeful and very hard to watch and kind of just relive, but it's necessary and it's powerful. And just think about not only like your family members, but like your friends and people that you love and that you're close to, and like realistically, it could be any of us.
Yep, at any time.
Right. So we just wanted to give you guys our thoughts. We hope that you tune in to watch. Please be sure to leave a comment below. Let us know like what you thought about the docu-series. Did you like it, love it, hate it?
Yep. And if we can find a link to the entire episode, we will put that in the description box as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So until next time, guys.
Bye.